It is 8:10 News Talk, Saga 960 Raw. Mike Richards. We are telling you that it is the Sports Interaction Power Hour. And I can tell you that this weekend, more than any other, it is truly a power hour when you start looking at the number of bets that you can make on this UFC 249 card is spectacular, as that night I think will be. I think the numbers will bear it out too. Those that are getting the pay-per-view, those that will watch it on conventional television, sort of leading up to the main card, and therefore we need to go to Sports Interaction. And I was going to say the senior lines manager, but he has superseded that level and has now progressed to the Trade Minister of Finance. Is that correct? What is the title again? The trading man.
Yeah, and then when they call me on the floor to explain myself, this is how I dress as well.
Yeah, so when people see this, and by the way, they will see this today. This is also the ghost of Christmas past. If you had a very shady past.
I'm looking for my own Netflix series.
Yeah, well, you're gonna trust me, pal. You're very close. You are very, very close.
The size of this cup.
Yeah,
what's in there, Mike?
I was going to say, and you should be pounding them back because in Montreal, you said there's snow there this morning.
It's starting to snow this morning, and there's also little beadlets of ice everywhere. It's so welcome to spring. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, when we talked to you last week, there was a lot of things that weren't moving necessarily. That is any sort of prediction of what we might see from sports leagues. Now, have you changed your mind at all on this? Because, again, you talk to people worldwide on a daily basis every day. The feeling about, let's say, Major League Baseball or college sports, do you feel any differently this week than you did last week?
I think it's all still completely conjecture. Maybe a little bit of hope. Certainly the Bundesliga, they're slated to return May 16th. So a lot of eyes from leagues around the world are going to be on that to see how long they can last. A lot of talks with the Premiership as well. I mean, if that would come back, that would be huge. Again, to show to the rest of the world that it can be done. Boy, I still say I don't think I'd change any odds on anything coming back from a week ago.
Now, when you take a look at those European leagues, for you and for Sports Interaction, there is a lot of action on that. If they are able to make this work and other leagues start jumping in, this would be big for you guys, would it not be?
Oh, sure. Our soccer live betting is a significant part of our revenue. Probably about 15% of our total revenue for the year is soccer live betting. It dwarfs Antipost by 10 to 1. For every dollar we'll take on a pre-match game, we'll take 10 on a live game. So you can imagine when we get into the Premiership, the Serie A, the Bundesliga, that it's big money.
Phil, let's.
In Syria, has been suspended. For more details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that your girlfriend?
Thanks, Siri. She just.
let's talk UFC 2.
Actually, that notification just came. This Serie A I think they've canceled their season.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. You know what he looks like? He looks like, you remember Mitch Blood Green? That's what Mitch Blood Green used to dress up as. Just exactly what Phil Gray's doing. Nice job, Phil. Let's talk
Phil Filthy Gray. Filthy Gray.
Yeah,
Filthy Gray.
exactly.
Like Filthy Gray.
Never been called that.
Yeah, no, that's a first.
UFC 249. What are the numbers on it right now? I was counting some numbers. I think it was over 70, 75 different events to wager on. Live betting is going to be key for UFC as well. Talk to us more about tomorrow's massive event.
Yeah, we have 108 separate events associated with 249 on Saturday nights. Plus, we'll have live betting for the entire card. Plus, we got the piñata up. You guys love your piñata. That's there.
Yeah.
Couple of leans on the early fights. Brian Mitchell, big fave. Well, he's not a big fave. He's only paying minus 160, but boy, there's a lot of money on him to beat Charles Rosa, as well as Ryan Spann, who is a big fave, minus 420 right now, minus 440 at some shops. Big lean there. In the one women's fight, Michelle Waterson, Carla Esparza, the money there is on the dog. Michelle Waterson, a lot of money coming on her, 3-1 right now. And two other dogs, Jorgen De Castro and Greg Hardy. De Castro coming in at plus 160, a lot of money there. And Dominic Cruz over Henry Cejudo, which I thought was going to be the case. A lot of money coming in on him as well.
Like this is, as I said, the number of options that you have, and then some of the varied. For instance, I'll give the total event knockouts and TKOs combined is one option. Total event decision by points victories. These are kind of cool options. Now, is this the stuff that you just kind of think of? Is this from the mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be such a huge event. I mean, this is really, could be the Super Bowl of the year for everybody, right? So I tasked a lot of the guys in the department who are big MMA fans, as I did, the same thing with the CFL props. Come up with your own guys, so we don't have to go to their sites and copy their numbers. We're going to make our own numbers, and they actually did that. And I kind of think, we could actually get close to a Super Bowl turnover by the end of Saturday night. It's going to be that crazy on Saturday. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. What else are you looking at as far as some of the numbers at the UFC 249? Because I know you guys have props on submissions, decisions, knockouts, shortest fight. You talked about the piñata already. Are any of those other props any factors right now on the site?
Not really. I mean, I got so much in front of me this morning looking at that. With all the live betting we have right now as well, I couldn't pick one. I couldn't pick one out of the lot, but certainly they're all there. And as well, tomorrow, we'll be fully staffed in our customer service department, both on chat, email, and by phone as well. So anybody who wants to sign up tomorrow, you've got friends that want to come in and sign up. You'll have no problems depositing, getting on, and getting your action down tomorrow with us for sure.
Now, is the potential fights still up there? Is that still available on the site? Fights that could happen, betting on those, is that on the site still?
Yeah, I think I've got 6 Conor McGregor possibilities up there right now.
Well, Conor McGregor, and not surprisingly, Conor wants to fight on Fight Island. I mean, that's where he kind of wants to be. And you would have to think if Khabib was able to actually leave Russia at some point, would that be a fight? And I think that's probably one of the options, is it? Yeah,
I think that actually could happen. And right now you can get, Khabib at 30 cents, which is huge value because Conor McGregor has 0 chance to beat him.
Yeah, so true. So very, very true. Would you have anything for the Oscar De La Hoya rumor? Because there was a rumor Conor against Oscar De La Hoya in a boxing match.
Yeah, that's been floating around. I see some books take it down. I've got Conor and Floyd a rematch there as well.
I hope they don't go that route.
In an MMA bout, though. Floyd could be out of money, and you never know with him, right?
Yeah, he'd probably bet on Conor. I'm telling you. I mean, he's now. When we talked a little bit about the KBO, the Taiwanese baseball league. Now, as I said, we sort of touched upon what it would mean if you see some major leagues in Europe play soccer. What about the baseball in the Far East? Does it see any action? Are people interested? Is it something that
I mean, it's not. I mean, I'd say it's insignificant at this point, really. I mean, there's some live betting going on for it. Certainly some, very little anti-post. Right now, I mean, I would hazard to say, I mean, it's the case that pretty much every book across the internet, it's the immediacy of live betting that people really want right now. And that's why you see the vast offerings now in table tennis, and electronic soccer. Electronic soccer for right now is our #1 revenue gainer. I mean, there are days I'm taking as much in electronic soccer that I probably would have maybe on, a regular Major League Baseball day. That's how much money I'm taking on live betting for electronic soccer. It's incredible.
Now, for people who are listening to this, and we'll see this later on today, who don't quite understand what it is that you just said, explain electronic soccer to those hearing this for the first time today.
Well, there's simulated reality, and there's also, they're playing on consoles, different consoles, either PS4, I believe it is, or Xbox. And there's different teams around the league and around the world, different leagues. And they've all been streamed now into one feed service where we can gather odds from each one of those matches and be able to offer it live on our platform. So it's pretty cool because that's stuff from around the world. And there's just, I'm not even posting, probably maybe 50% of what's out there in the world. So you look at us and I could have 40 matches in an hour, but there's actually probably, 120 available for feeds. I mean, it becomes too much. You saturate the market. So I try and whittle it down to some of the more popular teams and some of the leagues that might garner a little bit more interest here in North America.
Is there ever any fear on that, though, just not knowing a lot of information about some of these players, so to speak?
Well, absolutely, for sure. We've seen that now, in a number of instances since this started. We have to be very careful with what we're offering, and we're pretty thorough in our vetting of our feed service. So pretty confident, pretty much everything we're putting up. If there's any sort of even the slightest chance that something may be irregular, it comes right off the feed and everyone takes it down. That's why I don't like getting into the pre-tape stuff. We saw what happened with the NBA horse.
Exactly.
It's such a vast network out there on social media for people to try and take advantage of stuff like that, and it's not that hard to do when there's pre-tape stuff because somebody knows. They always know. So you have to keep limits low, and a lot of times I don't even want to post it anymore.
We're in conversation with Phil Gray here on News Talk Saga 960 Raw. Mike Richards. It is the Sports Interaction Power Hour. Now, of course, news of the CFL coming out where that was pretty bleak. And I guess maybe a lot of people felt that was coming. And of course, you do take not only a lot of action on Canadian football here in this country, but I'll have some associations with some of the teams as well. So that was kind of hard news. I'm still deep down as a hardcore fan, hoping as Randy Ambrosie put it, the commissioner, a truncated schedule, therefore I guess a somewhat of a shortened schedule that would still be possible. I realize that's the longer of the shot, but that still was, I think, hard to hear yesterday in front of the House committee.
Yeah, and with the amount of money that this country is going to be in debt coming out of this, what's another 150 million really? I say that kind of half jokingly, but such an important institution across Canada, and for especially some of the Western provinces, during the season, that's a big employment opportunity and a big revenue generator. As well as I do, the fanaticism for Western CFL football. It's the same level as NFL. We don't see it as much in the East, but still, So I think certainly they should be on the table for funding to keep the league alive and bring it back next year. I don't see why not.
Well, that's exactly it. Hey, Phil, what else are we missing that's going to do the roundabout with the weekend? I know you guys are prepping for some golf events coming up as well, which is going to be awesome. And I'm guessing there's going to be a little bit of a trickle-down effect where more PGA golfers are going to do more charity events, and you guys are going to be all over it as well. Yeah,
I'm skeptical of the tour starting.
Really, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I know they've set their schedule, but you're hearing a lot of rumblings from a lot of the players that, Adam Hadden came out and said, with some of the rule changes that he was rethinking the possibility of him playing. That's just Adam Hadwin, great golfer, and but I don't know, are Rory and Ricky and Dustin, are those guys all going to show up if there's no caddy, if they can't touch the flag, stuff like that, and just then for the testing procedure, that's going to be absolutely prevalent on the testing. We'll see. Yeah, a lot of fun. The two exhibition matches coming up. I'll have live betting on that as well. Probably a lot of props as well. Hopefully the Tiger Phil thing is better this time, and they can get into some of the banter, especially with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. That should be a lot of fun. Last night the NFL released the schedule. I've got week 1 live on the site right now.
That's right.
That's right. Houston in Kansas City. Kansas City 10.5 and taking money. 56.5. I would imagine that's going to get up. So great to talk about that, isn't it? I'm looking at my Don Bet screen and seeing some NFL numbers, and that's certainly brightened my day.
Well, and they look like they are literally going to have a full season. They've got also the availability of pushing the Super Bowl back. This is what they're talking about. I just can't believe that this league, which seems to be indestructible in its own universe, is.
Well, I love the statement a couple of days ago too. We're starting week 1. It's going to be on time, and there's going to be fans in the stands. Right?
They have a lot going on, don't they?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I for the love of them, God, I hope they're right. That would be nice to see them come through because.
Oh boy, you guys, you have no idea, but I'm sure you do how much I need NFL to come back in the fall.
Well, we hope it for everybody for sure, Phil. Hey, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure, pal, and we will talk to you next week. Be safe.
You bet, guys. Thanks a lot. See you next week.
That is Phil Gray from Sports Interaction.